my god, holy shit!
So we just got a brand new Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct revealing 2 new characters in the form of Simon Belmont and King K. Rool. But at the very beginning of the Direct, we had 3 new Echo Fighters in the form of Dark Samus, Chrom, and Richter Belmont. Sakurai also stated in the Direct that this time they plan to reveal the design of every fighter before the game launches. They'll have a few more to announce later, so we have to stay tuned. This all but confirms that we are going to be getting more Echo Fighters in the coming weeks with the future of Smash Bros. Directs. This has led to multiple picks for possible Echo Fighters and thousands of different videos and leaks being created. What we're here to do today is go over some of the top picks for Echo Fighters and make their case for being in Smash, and throw in some of my own Echo Fighter picks. Majority of these picks will come off of a spreadsheet that my good pal over on Reddit, user Flambros Incorporated, threw together. You can take a look at the full spreadsheet with the link in the description. So first up on our list is Funky Kong, who is a recurring character from the Donkey Kong Country games. Funky Kong is a highly requested character, and people are really hoping he'll make it in. He's generally some sort of vendor or businessman, but he's been playable on a few occasions. As for what he would play like, he doesn't really need any substantial move changes, but I feel like he's an obvious choice, and I wouldn't really be surprised if they threw him in. Honestly, it wouldn't make sense if they didn't, unless they're starting to be really conservative with adding Echo Fighters, but that doesn't really seem to be the case. So, the next pick, and probably one of my favorite picks for an Echo Fighter, is probably Dry Bowser. Dry Bowser first appeared in New Super Mario Bros. For DS, and has since been a recurring character in the Mario games. I feel like he's probably the most obvious pick for an Echo Bowser. He would require probably minimal work, and would make for probably one of the most neat and original Echo Fighters there is. I think there's a decent chance of him making an appearance, and although there was one skin in Smash 4 that kind of looked remotely like Dry Bowser, a full rework of it who can actually look like Dry Bowser would make a lot of fans happy. Next, we have an Echo Fighter from the Legend of Zelda series. Princess Hilda, who is the ruler of Lorule and is the most important character in that game. Since she's literally an alternate Zelda, and just has a different color scheme, I feel like she'd be a great Echo Fighter for Zelda. I would say her chance is very high of being an Echo Fighter, but seeing as she's only been in one game, I think it's a bit iffy as to whether she'll have a chance at being included or not, but I feel like she'd make a great fit. Next up we have Meta Knight. Now, Meta Knight's had a ton of different versions of himself over the course of several years in the Kirby games. Dark Meta Knight, Galacta Knight, Morpho Knight, ton of different versions. Now, I know for sure that Galacta Knight won't be in the game. Well, not like I know for sure, but I'm fairly sure that he won't be in the game, considering he already has an alternate color skin that looks like him. But I feel like Dark Meta Knight and Morpho Knight both have a giant chance of being incorporated into the game, because their designs are actually fairly different. Other than that, I don't really have any strong evidence as to they should be in the game. But, you know, I feel like they work just fine. Next up, we have an Echo Fighter from the Fire Emblem series that many of you guys have requested. So it's the Black Knight, who first appeared in Fire Emblem Path of Radiance alongside Ike. So, you know, his Echo Fighter would be Ike. He's the antagonist of the game and its sequel, Radiant Dawn, and the Black Knight wields the sword Alendite, which is a sister sword to Ike's Ragnall. I probably butchered those names, but it's fine. He was trained by Griel, like Ike's father, and thus his fighting style is very similar to Ike's, so it would make sense that his moveset matches Ike's almost perfectly. His biggest roadblock was probably his inclusion would mean that they have to make a do with his giant set of armor. So he could probably fit Ike's player model, but they'd have to move around some portions of his hitbox, or probably manipulate some of his animations to prevent clipping. So one of the biggest examples of this would be Ike's up special would probably have to be changed, considering that it has a ton of spinning and all that nonsense he'll have to deal with. It could probably get changed to like Zelda's or Sheik's recovery, as the Black Knight is actually known to teleport in Fire Emblem. And part of the reason that we are very sure that the Black Knight's going to be an Echo Fighter in the game is that he actually had a Mii costume in Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS, so I'd say his chances are actually quite high of being included. Alright, so next up, Echo Fighters for Sonic. Now, on the spreadsheet originally, they had Knuckles until he was revealed as an assist trophy, so, we highlighted that red. No, that's not going to happen. But one Echo Fighter that people have consistently asked for is Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, I'm not really sure why you would debate him being a playable character in the game anyway, as, his design is the exact same. He's been in Sonic for ages now. And he was an assist trophy in Smash 4, and so far we have not seen him be revealed as an assist trophy in the game so far. So I'd say his chances are very high. The other Echo Fighter that we have for Sonic on here is Metal Sonic. Now, he hasn't appeared in any of the Smash games so far, but I feel like, same thing with Shadow. Design being the same, moveset probably the exact same. He'd work just fine. Alright, so this next Echo Fighter, I have no idea who they are. Never played a Kid Icarus game. Not very familiar with it whatsoever. But apparently one of the most requested Echo Fighters is an Echo Fighter for Palutena, which would be Medusa. Now, I'm just going to read this right off the spreadsheet, so pardon me if any of the information's wrong, because I didn't spot check it. But Medusa is the main antagonist of the Kid Icarus series, and most of Kid Icarus Uprising. She has a similar build to Palutena and can use similar spells, and she would be a great fit. And all we know is that Sakurai is partial to Kid Icarus, so I think she stands a good chance of making it in. Not my words. Don't know very much about Kid Icarus, but there you go. Alright, so this next one, I'm pretty sure is going to make it into Smash. So if you go back to Street Fighter, Ryu, his obvious clone would be Ken from Street Fighter. Their pattern to be the exact same hitboxes, everything. He's been a character since the series beginning, and I feel like he would just be a great fit. He'd probably just be an alternate skin with better speed than Ryu. Maybe they could adjust how much damage is dealt between the two of them, but they're virtually the same. Last but not least, we have Isabelle from Animal Crossing New Leaf. Now, since the release of New Leaf, she's become somewhat of a mascot for the series and appeared in Mario Kart 8. And although the townspeople of Animal Crossing don't exactly run around using the exact same items as the villager all the time, it wouldn't be out of place to have a townsperson with the same moveset. Isabelle would probably be the most popular choice out of the Animal Crossing franchise, and seeing as it has a very big following, I can see it happening without, anybody doubting it. She was previously an assist trophy in Smash 4, but we have not yet seen her in Smash Bros. Ultimate as another assist trophy. So kind of like Shadow, we're holding out for her, and we're seeing if she's going to be incorporated or not. I personally think she has high chances of being in the game, but it's all up to debate. Another Echo Fighter that I think could probably make an appearance would be Dixie Kong. Now, the reason why I'm not putting this with the other characters as highly likely Echo Fighters is that I think she probably deserves a spot as her own unique character compared to Diddy Kong. Now, she is Diddy Kong's girlfriend in the Donkey Kong series, and she first appears in Donkey Kong Country 2. Since then, she's appeared in almost every single Donkey Kong game. So, like me, a lot of people believe that she deserves her own character, and it's fair. However, I'd probably rather see her as an appearance of an Echo Fighter than not at all, considering that there's only a limited amount of slots left for characters anyway. And I feel like Sakurai would probably set aside character slots for more franchise frontrunners or third-party characters if he can get the rights for them. Compared to it being an Echo Fighter, which saves the character slot, makes people happy that she's still in the game, and relieves some of the stress off of the staff. Next up, we have a new F-Zero representative. Now, I know a lot of people are looking forward to having Blood Falcon, but we already know that he's had a different skin in Smash 4 that shows him off, so let's go to someone different. One character that so many people have requested is Black Shadow, who is known as the King of Evil in the F-Zero universe. He enters races with the intentions of killing Captain Falcon during the race. I feel like he'd be an excellent fit for a Captain Falcon Echo, and gives us another villain to play. I feel like it'd be awesome to get more F-Zero representation, as we haven't had a game in God knows how long, and he could use the same moveset as Captain Falcon, but he could probably borrow some of the moves from Ganondorf, some more brutal versions of them. They could give him a little bit more damage output, they could mess around with hitboxes, flinching, and whatnot, but I feel like it'd make a great addition to the game. Alright, so next up for an Echo Fighter, we actually have two potential candidates for Pichu from the Pokemon series. Now, I know that's very strange, and people would probably not want to play as Pichu as much as any other character, considering that Pichu's very low on the tier list and damages himself and all sorts of nonsense. But I feel like there are two potential candidates that could be really good Echo Fighters for him. Plusle and Minun. Now, they're third generation Pokemon that were used as mascots into the game at the time. And there's strong evidence from leftover files in Super Smash Bros. Brawl that Sakurai considered including them as a character. They were potentially going to be a sort of ice climber duo, or instead of having ice attacks, it would be converted into electrical attacks. And they could work as Echo Fighters and maybe ice climbers, but one general rule of thumb we're trying to apply to here is keeping the Echo Fighters from the same series as the main character. So I feel like if we put them in place of Pichu, considering their similar designs, electric types, the moves would work just fine. Alright, before we go, I have one final suggestion for an Echo Fighter.
Sakurai, you need to fucking add Bandana D right now.
And that wraps up our list for Smash Bros. Ultimate potential Echo Fighters. If you guys want to check out that spreadsheet, it's in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.